News begins with breaking news.
12 years.
Have you ever seen anything like this?
No. We've never.
They told us just to leave the motorhomes and just get in the vehicles and just get out of the park. And there was a parade of cars leaving the park.
Live off the top at 5, smoke from a 6,000-acre brush fire is consuming land right off Alligator Alley. The fire is forcing evacuations and major road closures. And here's another view from the alley. The fire is only 30% contained right now, and you can see the alley is shut down. There are no cars on the road and thick, heavy smoke. Crews from across the state are here now, helping to get this under control.
And Wink News has a team of reporters. Right now, these are the areas under mandatory evacuation. We should let you know. Naples RV Resort, Panthers Walk RV Park, Forest Glen Community, and all Horse Stables Inn along Newman Drive. And Wink News has a team of reporters constantly sending us new information. Here is a live look at one of the 2 centers open for evacuees. Now, if you're evacuated, you can go to the Golden Gate Community Center on Golden Gate Parkway or Eagles Lakes Community Park on Tamiami Trail near Barefoot Williams Road. And this is a live look along Collier Boulevard, where a big section of this road is shut down right now. Law enforcement is blocking off the road while fire crews fight the flames. And here's a look at an area where the brush fire threatened. These are at the Aventine Apartments on Collier Boulevard, south of I-75. Wink News has been live from all of these locations all afternoon long, and we're just 1 minute from a live report from each of these places.
But first, Wink News is the weather authority, and you're looking video shot by the Wink News drone, and you can see just how high the smoke was rising at this time, how far away you could see it when this video was shot. Wink News Chief Meteorologist Jim Farrell is tracking the wind right now.
Can we show that drone video again? Can anybody tell me when that was shot? Because it's important for my explanation of what's happening right now at the fire scene. Take a look at that view. Notice where the smoke is going. It is almost going straight up. This was taken at 2:30 this afternoon. At that point in time, the wind started to back off a bit. Yesterday at this time, that wind was blowing the smoke horizontally. That is a significant change. It is not as windy today as it was yesterday at this time. Now, this is still an incredible fire. Is it 3,000, 4,000, 6,000 acres? 6,000 acres. So even without wind, even if the wind was calm, we have a big fire to deal with. But this is good news. The wind has decreased enough so that wind may not be the biggest issue going forward. Now, let's take a look at the weather computer again. Here's the shot from the village on Venetian Bay. You can see the smoke rising. Remember, it's hot air. Hot air is going straight up like a hot air balloon. And again, from Coconut Point, more of a vertical flow than a horizontal shear to the smoke at the surface. Radar is showing the same thing. Here's the smoke being indicated by the radar beam, and it's pretty much in one spot. So the smoke is rising instead of getting sheared off toward the coastline and offshore. But earlier today, we did see the smoke more or less getting blown off in this northwesterly direction and at a higher altitude nearby Sanibel Captiva. Take a look at the visible. I know you have to look closely at this. Fire is here. These are clouds. But this little gray area right in here, that is the smoke. And notice how close it is to the southern shore of Sanibel. Here's a live view from Sanibel, obviously overcast. There is some smoke mixing in with the cloud cover along the Lee County coast, but primarily the smoke is in Collier, and a dense smoke advisory remains in effect until 7 o'clock. Now, the next important development is this. A cold front will be arriving tomorrow, and the wind direction is going to change. Watch what happens on our forecast model. Basically, we'll watch for the wind to stay easterly or southeasterly through midnight, near 5 to 10 miles per hour. In the morning, it will be easterly or offshore, but not that strong. Then as the front comes through, it will become westerly. That's a good thing for the firefighters, because if that breeze develops out of the west in the afternoon, that would push the fire back on already burnt terrain, and that will make it an even easier fire to fight for area firefighters tomorrow, but not quite yet.
All right, thanks, Jim. Wink News with complete coverage of this wildfire burning out of control in Collier County. This is exactly what we're talking about, a large area in and around the Picayune Strand State Forest. It stretches from Beck Boulevard and Alligator Alley to the north, Sable Palm Road to the south, the Picayune Strand State Forest to the east, and Collier Boulevard to the west. Week News team coverage right now. We start with Week News reporter Megan Contreras, who is live on Alligator Alley.
Yeah, things are just going from bad to worse out here. Just a few minutes ago, just about 100 feet from where I'm standing, a group of trees just went up in flames. Firefighters sprung into action right away to get some water on those trees because who knows what this fire is going to do. They were obviously preventing it from spreading. And just beyond those trees, just a few feet away, there is a group of RVs. So as far as we're concerned, those RVs are okay, but they are dangerously close to where that fire just broke out. Now, where I'm standing at the toll plaza along I-75 on the south end, the visibility is very poor out here. Now, I was the last car to make it through the toll plaza just before they closed the interstate a couple hours ago. Now, when I drove through, the toll workers had on masks to cover their mouths from breathing in all this smoke out here. And I was parked in the middle of both the north and the south lanes in the median. And I had 3 huge plumes of smoke come over my car, leaving me with zero visibility. To be honest, it looked like balls of fire coming at my car. Now, I did see some fire hop the interstate. We did have some fire breakout in the median behind my car when I was over there, and firefighters quickly got there, put it out as fast as they could. And like I said, just like these trees just went up in flames, I have seen multiple trees along the interstate go up in flames. Same with one of our photographers, Elias Jacob. He was over near mile marker 98 a little bit ago when basically an inferno broke out. The trees went from smoldering to just being engulfed in flames. Now, he said the heat where he was just so incredible that he kept checking his camera lens to make sure that heat didn't melt the front of his camera. Now, I do want to bring in Lieutenant Greg Bueno with the Florida Highway Patrol. He's going to talk a little bit about their plans and what they're doing out here right now. Now, Lieutenant Bueno, we do have the interstate blocked off right now. What are your plans as we go into the rest of this evening?
Well, our contingency plans at this point is to keep the interstate closed due to the visibility issues that we have out here in the close proximity of the fire. It's expected at this point to keep it closed for the rest of the night, and we know that's going to be a huge inconvenience to everyone. However, we're siding on the side of caution at this point for everybody's safety. We're asking everyone to stay away from this area, to find an alternate route so that we can make sure that everyone gets to their destination safely.
And since I've been out here, I've seen a lot of your troopers out here just monitoring the roads. What are they all doing out here, and what precautions are they taking, to keep themselves safe?
Well, our troopers are continually going up and down the interstate, and we're looking for any spots where the flames could potentially cross over the interstate, and looking for those areas where smoke is becoming so condensed that it's creating even worsened visibility issues. So our troopers are blocking the ramps. We're monitoring out here. We're going to be out here all night to continue to do so. And again, we're going to keep an eye on them as well so that they can keep themselves safe as well, because the last thing we want is any of our emergency responders to be affected by this as well.
Just like me, you've seen the wind pick up. You've seen the smoke head our way. We've seen the zero visibility. What are you making of this whole situation as you watch it unfold along with me?
Well, Mother Nature is in charge here, and as we well see, and the shifting of the wind patterns is creating a dilemma out here because the smoke is blowing in various directions, and the fire potentially could skip over the interstate and then create another issue on the other side. So, again, it's something that's going to require all of us to be very, monitor the situation out here all night so that we can ensure that everyone reaches their destination safely and that we can keep this roadway closed until it's safe to reopen.
And one more question for you. I can't stress this enough. It is important for people to find alternative routes and not to head into this area.
Oh, absolutely. And to drive with patience. Expect that there's going to be traffic delays because everyone else is using those alternate routes as well. And, if at best, avoid the area completely if you can do it.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. And again, we will continue to stay out here and bring you all of the latest from here along Interstate 75. Reporting live, Megan Contreras, Wink News now.
All right, thank you very much, Megan. And there are 2 reception centers you can go to if you are forced to leave your home. Eagles Lake Community Park on US 41, and the one you see here on your map, the Golden Gate Community Center, which is on Golden Gate Parkway. Wink News reporter Olivia Mancino is live there right now. And Olivia, what are you hearing from the evacuees who are there?
Well, you know what? There are a lot of questions out here right now, not so many answers. I've been talking to people as they've trickled in for the last couple hours. Many are confused, but this is a very fluid situation. We're trying to bring them information as soon as possible. Now, right now, the Red Cross is providing snacks and water for people stationed here. The Golden Gate Community Center is currently being called a reception center, not a shelter. If it does change into a shelter situation, that will change things for evacuees, especially with pets. People with pets. So everything up in the air is up in the air right now. People are just standing by. I spoke to one evacuee from Club Naples who says he's nervous but optimistic.
We're just going to find out what's going on and see how bad the fire hits our trailer park. If it hits it, If it doesn't, then we're just going to continue on our vacation.
Now, again, hearing a lot of concerns from people with pets. Pets are not allowed at this reception center currently. So some people are looking for pet-friendly hotels. But again, everything is up in the air. They're not sure if they're going to be able to go home tonight. We, of course, are working to find that out. This is a very fluid situation. But as soon as we get more information, we will be sure to pass it along. For now, we're live in Naples. Olivia Mancino, Wink News Now.
All right. Thank you very much, Olivia. The Florida Forest Service is asking people in the area of the fire to be ready to go at a moment's notice. To do that, remember the 5 P's to prepare. That's people and pets. Make sure you and your family can get to safety. Prescriptions, including glasses or hearing aids. You want to make sure you take those with you in case you are out of your home for an extended period of time. Papers, you should plan to take any important documents with you. And personal needs, such as clothes, cash, phones, and chargers. And then priceless items, family heirlooms, or important pictures.
And we want to bring in now Wink News reporter Ellen Thalls, who's on the phone with us. And Ellen, you had a chance to talk with some more evacuees, right?
Yeah, Bob, that's right. I'm here at the corner of Collier Boulevard and Golden Gate Parkway, where a lot of folks from Club Naples were directed to come either to this parking lot or to the Walmart parking lot. And a lot of these folks you're going to see in the video there were able to actually drive their mobile homes here. Other folks had no time whatsoever. They grabbed just their vehicle and left everything else behind. And a lot of them are extremely concerned. They say they're not getting a lot of information. They don't know if they have anything left. Most have gone to get water and food, and they're just kind of sitting here in a holding pattern and not knowing if any of their belongings are on fire or are okay. So let's go ahead and hear from some of them now.
Kind of packed a bag, got ready just in case, called the sheriff's department. They told us that if they did evacuate in the middle of the night, they come knock on doors, blow horns, wake everybody up to get out.
My wife was getting a little excited, so we're just grabbing whatever we could grab our hands on. I grabbed my computers and put them in the car because, we've been living with this for about a day or so, but we always thought that it went past us, that it wasn't going to be coming our way.
Is it going to stay going north, or going to go south, or is it going to jump? I feel sorry for the firefighters having to deal with it because it's a guessing game at this point in time. What it's going to do and where it's going to go. I pray they all stay safe and get to come home.
Yeah, you just heard from some folks, lots of evacuees out here. I talked to one gentleman who told me that likely about 300 to 400 lots just in Club Naples. So you're talking about likely hundreds and hundreds of people who right now are just waiting to see if they have anything else left. I'll be out here as long as there are people out here, and I can tell you more and more evacuees just keep coming. So Lois and Bob, I'll be sure to inform you with anything else I get. Back to y'all.
All right, Ellen, thanks for that information. Meanwhile, Immokalee Fire is just one of the many crews battling this blaze right now. They posted this video on Twitter showing a chopper hitting the flames with a bucket of water. And so far, 4 communities have been evacuated.
Well, at this point, we either have a camper or we have a burned camper. And I can't control that. And it's the way it goes. You can't control that. Can't control Mother Nature.
And Wink News reporter Jessica Alpern has been monitoring conditions near the Aventine apartments and joins us now live from Collier Boulevard near those apartments. And Jessica, how are the conditions there right now?
Well,
Well, the conditions right here now, what I can tell you, there are plenty of people standing by and watching those choppers dropping water. We can feel it on us right now. Earlier today, though, about a mile down the road on Collier Boulevard, we were outside of the Aventine at Naples Apartments complex. And now, as we were there, we saw huge amounts of crowds gathered in front of those massive amounts of smoke. We pulled over to talk with them. Just as we did that, active flames began to break out, and it was that way for pretty much all day long. Crews arriving on and off to try and contain those people passing by who live at the Aventine Apartments, coming over to wave down firefighters, then waving down forestry, trying to contain those flames that people were seeing. Now, these people were scared, and that's why they were outside trying to figure out what's going on. Let's take a listen to what one man had to say of all the smoke so close to his apartments.
Hasn't been getting out of control where it's blowing towards the apartments yet, but we have seen it blow across the street. And, there's a lot of ash everywhere, flying through the air, heavy smoke at times.
And you could see it in that interview, the flames just beyond that man's shoulder. That's how close they were to all of this. Again, they came on outside from the Aventine Apartments at Naples. That's just north of Rattlesnake on Collier Boulevard. They came outside because they saw the smoke. They wanted to see what was going on. Now, what I can tell you is while we were there, forestry was on site checking in with those people, making sure they had that checklist that we mentioned earlier, things you want to have on you in case of an emergency evacuation. And I can tell you that I've spoken with some of those people. Some of them have decided to evacuate just in case. Others are waiting it out until it is mandatory. For now, live in Collier County, Jessica Alpern, Wink News Now.
Jessica, thanks for that update. Now, if you need help, there is an emergency hotline set up for you to call. Collier County opened the emergency hotline again this afternoon. The number is right there on your screen, 239-252-8444. Again, 239-252-8444. And anyone in Collier County can also call 311, and you can call with any questions that you may have about the fire.
The Collier County School District is closely monitoring this situation. The district will make any decisions about whether to close schools by 6 a.m. tomorrow. Parents will be notified about the changes via phone, text, email, and social media. Of course, you can also count on Wink News to bring you that information as soon as we get it. And take a look at this. This is how crews are getting large amounts of water on the remote areas of this fire. They're using choppers with giant buckets to pick up that water from nearby lakes and then flying it into the fire zone. There are fixed-wing planes that are in the air also helping with this effort. Well, Wink News is the Weather Authority. Jim is here, and you talked about the wind and the changes in the wind. Not a lot of chance for rain, so really we just have to listen to authorities and do our best here.
Yeah, the rain is out of the picture right now. That's not going to come to the rescue. The wind is not as strong, however, now as it was earlier today or yesterday at this time, so the smoke is pretty much going straight up, a lot more than it was yesterday when it was more horizontal from east to west. Here it is on radar. A radar, of course, is just a radio signal that bounces off things in the air, and it's tuned to fine particles the size of raindrops, and in this case, we've got some smoke that is returning the radar energy, and this is where it is right now, essentially where I-75 turns eastward into Alligator Alley. However, there is a dense smoke advisory for Collier County at least until 7 o'clock tonight. That advisory could be extended beyond 7 o'clock. As the fire sits here right now, the prevailing wind is from land toward the Gulf, and that was pushing some of the smoke out over the Gulf of Mexico. But the wind speed and direction will be changing over the next 24 hours. By midnight tonight, it should still be more or less an easterly breeze, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Then as we get into the morning hours, again, still easterly, but as a new cold front moves in from north to south, the wind is going to flip around and do a 180, and it should become more westerly in the afternoon tomorrow. That'll have a couple of effects. Not only will the wind not be that strong, which is good, but as it changes direction, that should push the fire, or at least try to push the fire, a little farther east over already burnt terrain, and that will help to keep smoke away from the coastline in most cases. So that is due to occur tomorrow as the cold front pushes through. Then the breeze becomes more northerly by around 11 o'clock tomorrow, and that will have the tendency to push the smoke more to the south. over less populated areas, but that's not going to happen until late in the day tomorrow. Right now, there's the wind. You can see it's not as strong as it was yesterday, and it's essentially near 5 to 10 miles per hour nearby Naples, which is near the fire zone at the moment. Also a chance for a couple of showers tomorrow. Not much in the way of rain, nothing to come to the rescue, but we've got this weak front moving in, and Future Track is showing the chance for an isolated shower or two in the afternoon. Same for Thursday, then it'll be dry and sunny on Friday, Saturday, partly cloudy on Sunday, and the next best chance of rain holds off until Monday and Tuesday of next week.
All right, Jim, thank you. Taking a short break from our fire coverage. Right now, the Lee County School District's discussing a new plan to make sure teachers have affordable housing. Wink News anchor Brittany McDonald joins us live to explain. Brittany?
Well, there's a nationwide teacher shortage going on right now, and Florida is no exception. In Lee County alone, they are down 40 positions. A big part of the problem, according to many educators, is the lack of affordable housing, the high cost of living. So to help with that, the school board is actually considering building housing that's affordable just for these teachers. Now, there are 3 sites that they're considering that the school district has, 2 in Fort Myers, 1 in Cape Coral. Right now, starting salaries for teachers in Lee County is $40,000. With median rent in the area over $1,100. One proposed building would include 382 units with a 1-bed, 1-bath at $825, and that's compared to the average of over $1,000. Now, they project that this will bring the turnover rate of teachers down by about 3% each year. I spoke to the Florida Education Association, who would just like to see more money for teachers, but are open to the idea.
A lot of them find they can't afford to stay and they move back home, which will be, out of state or wherever it may be. So it becomes a problem.
Now, some teachers did actually see a pay increase at the beginning of this year, also approved by the school board. So they are looking at increasing teacher salaries, but along with this proposal for affordable housing, and they just decided about an hour ago to look at details to move forward with this project. So we'll keep you updated on that. And coming up at 6 o'clock, I spoke to a teacher and you can find out what she thinks about all of this at 6. But for now, I'm live in Lee County. Brittany McDonald, Wink News Now.
All right, Brittany, thank you. Wink News is on fire watch, and we're keeping a close watch on this massive brush fire. This is a live look at mile marker 97 on I-75, where the smoke is covering parts of Collier County as firefighters work to keep you safe. We'll have the latest on the area you need to steer clear of coming up.
Many of you have been sharing your pictures and videos on social media. In each, a stark reminder of the danger as an ominous smoke cloud hovers over southwest Florida. Wink News anchor Lindsay Sablon gives us a look.
Vicious flames lit up the area this morning. Viewer Joey Weiner captured these before the Picayune Strand fire picked up, causing mandatory evacuations. In hours, another viewer, Tom Watson, catches a chopper swooping down to gather buckets of water, while cars full of families line the road, running from danger. The chaos unfolding along Collier Boulevard and Beck right around lunch. A surreal sight at Naples Beach. Linda Bertonetti posting this picture of people in swimsuits, the sun blocked by black, thick smoke. Another look at the smoke from a beach much further north. Darcy Ulbrich captured this from Fort Myers Beach. That smoke almost looks like rain over the water. And 2 defined smokestacks in the distance, taken by Matthew Saylor from Collier Bay. A Immokalee Fire giving us a look at the boots on the ground, tweeting this picture of their crew in the Naples Lakes community, where they're working hard to protect homes. S. Hams McKenna tweeting this video of I-75, where she posts waiting for the interstate to reopen as orange smoke invades the sky. Finally, Darcy Ulbrich captioning this picture, quote, getting worse and worse, hashtag praying for Collier County. Lindsay Sablon, Wink News Now.
And getting you back out live in Collier County, a 6,000-acre brush fire is burning in the Picayune Strand State Forest. But this is a live look from Naples at the village on Venetian Bay. It is only 30% contained, this fire, and there are mandatory evacuations underway. Wink News will be live on the air throughout the hour and the rest of the night while fire crews fight to contain this fire. If you need information immediately, we've put all of the evacuation orders, the list of reception centers, and the road closures on the Wink News app. We return with live reports from the scene right after the break.
with breaking news.
Wink News is following the latest on a massive brush fire, forcing evacuations and closing down major roadways. This is live on Alligator Alley at mile marker 94, where you can see how high the smoke is at this point. State troopers have closed I-75 from exit 80 all the way to exit 105. And Wink News reporter Nicole Papageorge joins us now live. Nicole, where are you at right now, and what are the conditions there?
Well, Bob, we are live on Beck Boulevard. This is just coming off of Collier Boulevard. If you take a look behind me, you can see just atrocious condition, so much smoke in the air. And you can see off in the distance, firefighters, they are trying to keep all of this massive amount of fire that's burning at bay. Now, there are some important road closures that we do want to tell you about. Collier Boulevard is still closed from Davis Boulevard all the way south to Golden Gate Parkway. That's because the wind can shift frequently, sending smoke in different directions. It's also so that first responders can get to any location here quickly. I-75 Alligator Alley is also closed right now from State Road 29 all the way to Golden Gate Parkway. Again, hundreds of people were evacuated from this area here today from Naples Club RV Park, Panther Walk RV Park, Forest Glen, and all the horse stables in and around Newman Road. The good news here, people did pack their bags up yesterday. They put in all of their important belongings in preparation for this, so they were able to get out quickly. One woman described what she saw today near her home.
Oh, we're starting to get a lot of smoke back there and ash starting to fall. I mean, at first it was just white, and now all of a sudden these black and red plumes back there. It's like, holy moly.
Incredible amount of smoke down here behind me on Beck Boulevard. Again, those RV parks have been evacuated. Many people tell me that they're going to be staying with either friends or relatives tonight. Others tell me they may have to seek shelter at the Golden Gate Community Center. For now, we are live here in Collier County. Nicole Papageorge, Wink News Now.
Nicole, thanks for that update. Wink News meteorologist Scott Zedeker is with us now. And Scott, can you give us some perspective about where all of this is happening?
Yeah, Bob. Well, here is Alligator Alley. There's Collier Boulevard, 951. And here are the mandatory evacuations for these areas and communities. And there's the actual fire. And with that southeasterly breeze we've been dealing with the last couple of days, that's why all the smoke is crossing Collier Boulevard right now, 951. And that's why it's closed. And there's portions of Alligator Alley as well. But the Naples Club RV Park, as well as Panthers Walk RV Park, mandatory evacuations there. Forest Glen Golf and Country Club and the horse stables located here all have been evacuated, and that's because of the smoke and the fire very close to these areas in Collier County. Now, there's Doppler radar. This is the 1-hour time lapse, and you can see the smoke plume as it continues to move off to the north and northwest. Not as dense as it has been, as the breeze is winding down a little bit. It is quieting down. We had some wind gusts earlier in the mid to upper 20s. Well, the last couple of hours, really not much in the way of wind gusts. We've seen sustained wind 5, 10, up to 15 miles an hour from time to time out of the southeast, and that's why the smoke has been blowing toward the beach communities for the last couple of days. Now, that's going to change a little bit tomorrow. There's the south and southeasterly breeze we're dealing with right now through the rest of the evening, sustained 5 to 10 miles an hour. And as I advance this, you can see that easterly breeze stays with us through the overnight period, first thing in the morning as well. But watch what happens tomorrow, right around lunchtime, 1, 2 o'clock. The breeze becomes more southerly, very light, so hopefully the firefighters will have a good handle on getting that fire a little better under control by tomorrow afternoon. And then into the evening, it shifts more to the west as we're watching a weak cold front get a little closer to us and eventually through southwest Florida. So once that breeze shifts more to the west, that's going to push all the smoke back to our inland communities and the fire as well. And we should start improving the conditions up and down the coast of Collier County as well as southern Lee County. And that won't take place, though, until tomorrow, late afternoon and into the evening.
All right. Thank you very much, Scott. Breaking team coverage continues at 5:30. Wink News reporter Olivia Mancino is standing by at the Golden Gate Community Center where evacuees are gathering. Olivia.
Right. I've been talking to evacuees for the past couple hours. In fact, I'm here with one right now. Mike Ellis, you evacuated from Club Naples, but you say this actually took you by surprise. You weren't at home when you heard about the evacuations. Where were you?
Absolutely. I was down at the beach, enjoying the beach, and
we got a tweet on something that said that there was a mandatory evacuation. So tried to get back, couldn't get back. So here we are, waiting to find out.
So now you're at the evacuation reception center. Do you have a game plan yet? What are you going to do?
Fortunately, my brother and sister-in-law are staying down here for a couple months. And what our plan is to go ahead and stay with them. So we're well off, yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, for Mike, that's a good situation. Of course, that's not the situation for everybody here. Some people who don't live here year-round or have relatives. This is a very fluid situation. They're not calling these reception centers shelters yet. That means we are not sure if people are going to be able to return home tonight yet or not. Now, a few things you need to know about the reception centers. Lots of people have been donating water and food, which is awesome. They do want you to know, though, people with the Red Cross say if you do want to donate something, it can't be homemade. It has to be from a certified kitchen. So something like somewhere from Target or Walmart, anywhere where you want to bring in pre-packaged items. Now, for people with pets, they cannot be kept at the reception center here. So a lot of those people are in limbo right now, too. We're working to figure out where they can go if they can't go home tonight. Of course, that's all information we're working to learn. Once we get more details, we will be sure to update you right away. For now, we're live in Naples. Olivia Mancino, Wink News Now.
All right. Thank you very much, Olivia. And if you are driving through smoke, here are some tips to keep you safe. First, slow down. Visibilities are reduced. Use your low beam headlights. And if you can't see well enough to keep driving, pull all the way off the pavement to stop and then turn on your hazards. Report the conditions to the Florida Highway Patrol.
And new tonight, we want to take a look at these. We continue to look over here at the FDOT camera. As you can see, the brush fire situation there is the smoke is just terrible. You can't see anything. Visibility is almost near zero there. Of course, there's no cars on the roads because I-75 has been shut down from I-80, State Road 29, all the way up to mile marker 105, a Golden Gate Parkway. But as you can see there, it seems like the conditions, at least at that position, are getting worse. There is very limited visibility at that point. You heard Chief Meteorologist Jim Farrell say a little bit earlier, though, that the wind has died down, so actually smoke in many places actually going straight up in the air as opposed to going sideways, and that's a good sign. And as we get closer to sunset, hopefully the winds die down even further at that point and lets firefighters and first responders get in there and hopefully control this fire even more.
So now let's back off from this a little bit. This is from Naples. So you can see there's the Venetian Village, the village on Venetian Bay, and you can see the difference in terms of how the smoke looks when you back off just a little bit, but you can see how it's still prevailing in the sky and rising through the air. Now let's back off even a little bit more and take it to Estero, to the Hyatt at Coconut Point, and there you can see a good perspective of how big this smoke plume is and how far it can be seen away. And if we went even further north, you'd be able to see it further yet. Let's go into the I-75 area again and look at this. This gives you some real perspective along, I believe you said this mile marker 90?
94, right.
94, okay. Mile marker 94, and you can see how big that plume of smoke is and how ominous that would be if the interstate was open and you were driving toward that at this point. But remember, again, I-75 closed right now between mile marker 80 and 105 because this is what the conditions are driving in that area. Complete zero visibility, unsafe to be driving. And we heard from Florida Highway Patrol, it's very, very possible the interstate will stay closed all night tonight because this smoke will just sit there and not go anywhere.
All right, let's toss it out now to Wink News reporter Megan Contreras. And Megan, where are you at right now and what's the situation there?
Yeah, we are currently driving south on I-75, and you can just see out the window here. My photographer, Elias Jakob, is going to show you a live look. Really, we're just driving into a bunch of smoke and haze. As we get a little further in, you can see the visibility is getting less and less. And I'm not sure if you can see to the sides, but some of these trees have caught on fire right along the side of I-75. Made for a very scary situation earlier. I did see some fire hop into the median. It was small fire, but it did catch some of the spots in the median between the north and the south lanes on fire. Now, I think you're getting a live look right now out the window, and you're seeing where some of this fire did hit. We are with Lieutenant Greg Bueno with the Florida Highway Patrol. He is driving, so he's not going to look directly at you guys right now, but I'm going to hold the microphone over and just ask him a couple of questions. And Lieutenant Bueno, we do have I-75 closed. What is the plan as far as reopening this road?
Well, as it stands right now, the plan is to keep it closed. And again, it's for everyone's safety. As you see, visibility is an issue out here. And in addition to that, the proximity of the fire is an issue. So we're going to side on the air of caution at this point, keep it closed until the winds calm down, until the fire department and the rest of the emergency personnel out here can get the fire back under control.
And you have a lot of crews out here. Tell me a little bit about your action and what you guys are doing out here along the interstate.
We do, but it's a total team effort. It's not just FHP. There's numerous emergency services out here, along with the Sheriff's Office, the fire departments, Division of Forestry. So we're all working together, and we plan for these things. We have meetings, we talk about it, and so that we know what to do in the event that something like this happens. So again, we're out here working hard to keep this road closed, to keep everybody safe, but we do need everyone's cooperation so that it can make our jobs easier, so that we don't have to respond to calls, that we can focus on this and take care of it.
And just so everyone can see right now, we are seeing some large airplanes drop what looks like to be some water or some sort of a substance on the fire, retardant, like red in color. So you can see right here to the right-hand side, we are just past mile marker 99. We see active fire. You can see just how close it is to the interstate. I want to ask Lieutenant Bueno one more question. How important is it for the people to just steer clear of this area?
Oh, absolutely. Again, it's for everyone's safety. We need everyone to avoid the area so that emergency responders that are out here, that we could focus on keeping control of this fire, keeping our roadways as safe as possible out here. Because the last thing that we need is for someone to become injured or overcome by the fumes or the flames or something like that. So again, just for everyone's cooperation, patience, so that we can get this roadway back open.
All right, thank you, Lieutenant Bueno, for doing that. We're going to turn around and head back closer to the toll booth. As you can see, we've come out of that low visibility area. We're going to head back to where a lot of the first responders are working on some hot spots. But again, we will continue to stay out here and monitor the situation. I do want to make note before we sign off just what a good job all of these first responders are doing out here. I have watched them work tirelessly. They're working around the clock to make sure everyone is safe and to make sure that this fire stays contained to the area that it is burning currently. So really hats off to all of our first responders this evening. Now we will be with you again on Wink News at 6 o'clock, so tune in for another live update. Back to you in the studio.
All right, Megan, thank you. Let's take you live to another part of Collier County. This is mile marker 95. You can see the wall of smoke right there. You see some first responders off in the distance, but after that, you can't see anything. The visibility at that point is basically down to zero, it looks like. Now stay with Wink News as we follow breaking new developments on this large brush fire.
Weather, and Jim, has the cloud of smoke kept the surface temperatures down at all for firefighters?
Not so much. The temperature was still 84 degrees in and around Naples at the weather station, and of course the heat of the fire itself generates quite a bit of heat. But a couple of developments today, and good news in a couple of fronts here. One is that it is not as windy now as it was at any time yesterday or earlier in the day. The windiest weather is done. It will be a little breezy here and there, but it will not be as gusty going forward as it has been. Now, the smoke is still obvious, but it is also obvious to me as I've been watching this with our live high-definition sky cams all afternoon that the smoke is not as concentrated. It is not as dense as it was earlier in the day. So it's not looking quite as bad as it was earlier. As the wind has died down, and without the wind to fan the flames, there's still a fire there, no doubt about it, but it's not generating as much smoke as it was earlier. And that's depicted on our Doppler radar display. You can see only some light green here, indicating just a little bit of smoke being detected by Doppler radar. And in this last picture, very little green, which matches what I was just seeing visually. The smoke is not quite as dense. Now, the wind, speed, and direction, two important things to consider. I already mentioned that it will not be as windy going forward as it has been. That's great news for firefighters. The other thing that could be beneficial will be a wind direction change. That'll be a good thing tomorrow as a cold front approaches. Over the evening hours and into the early morning and then midday hours, we expect the wind to stay more or less out of the southeast and south. But by tomorrow afternoon, as a weak cold front pushes through the area, the wind will become more onshore or westerly. That'll do a couple of things. That will keep less smoke near the coast, since it'll be blown, the smoke will be blown eastward away from the coastline. It will also allow for the smoke that is generated to kind of go over a less populated area starting tomorrow, and the fire will try to advance back over ground that it was already on. Remember, the fire was marching this way. If the wind direction changes as expected, the fire will take a U-turn and go over ground that is already burnt. So there will be less fuel to generate a stronger fire. So that's all good. Then by tomorrow evening, 11 o'clock, we see more of a northerly breeze developing after the cold front comes through. And again, that would push smoke down to the south over, in most cases, less populated areas. All right, here's the wind speed right now. And generally in the area, it's 5 to 10 to 15 miles per hour near Marco Island. Wind gusts, there aren't any. Yesterday, we had wind gusts in the mid and upper 20s. Today, that's not even a gust, but it is a 7 around Palmdale and Lehigh Acres. Temperatures are still running warm. That has nothing to do with the fire throughout the rest of southwest Florida. Temps have been running above average, and that trend is going to continue into the weekend and into early next week. Now, it looks like good news when there's rain in the forecast, but this is not the kind of rain that is going to get us out of the drought or help the fire. Isolated showers tomorrow and Thursday. Thursday, actually, after a high temperature of 85, our forecast model, Future Track, showing mainly inland showers. So there will be a couple of radar blips to show you on Wednesday and Thursday, but nothing too beneficial as far as the drought is concerned. Then it's very dry and sunny on Friday and Saturday. Partly cloudy on Sunday, and still warm with high temperatures in the mid-80s.
All right, thank you very much, Jim. The Red Cross has volunteers that are responding to help families and first responders who are impacted by this huge wildfire that's burning in Collier County. 15 disaster specialists are providing water and over 500 meals to as many as 430 first responders and residents who are at these 2 reception centers in Collier County, one at Golden Gate Community Center, the other at Eagles Lake Park. And the Red Cross has other volunteers on standby to help them open up these reception centers as overnight shelters if the need is there tonight. As you see, these are some of the worst flames that we've seen all day right near the heart of the fire. But if this fire continues to keep people from their homes, the Red Cross is prepared to open up these shelters. We'll let you know as soon as that happens. Area residents are encouraged just to stay tuned in, and we'll pass along the necessary information to them.
And the Florida Forest Service is asking people in the area of the fire to be ready to go at a moment's notice. And to do that, remember the 5 Ps to prepare. That's people and pets. Make sure you and your family can get to safety. Prescriptions, including glasses or hearing aids. You want to make sure you take these with you in case you're out of your home for an extended period of time. Papers. You should plan to take any important documents with you. Personal needs such as clothes, cash, phones, and chargers, and priceless items like family heirlooms or important pictures. Wake News spoke with some evacuees.
Well, at this point, we either have a camper or we have a burned camper. And I can't control that, and it's the way it goes. You can't control that. Can't control Mother Nature.
And now let's take some live looks along I-75. This is at mile marker 97, and you can see just that wall of smoke. If you went driving down the alley, you'd just run into that huge haze of smoke, and that's why the interstate is closed right now. Now let's go to mile marker 100. That's right by the toll booth, and you can see the situation is a little better right there, right now. And let's take a little bit further out. Let's get you out into Naples and at the village on Venetian Bay, and there you can see the big smoke plume in the sky, but conditions much better further away from the fire. You're watching Wink News at 5. We'll be back with much more fire coverage coming up in just a few minutes. As we take you out live now to I-75, we are seeing flames again along the interstate. This is right at the toll booth near mile marker 100. Here's what we know about this fire right now. It is massive, 6,000 acres. It is just 30% contained at this hour. And it has shut down the alley from a mile marker 80, which is State Road 29, to mile marker 105, which is Golden Gate Parkway. And this is that area where you see it is shut down and you see some water trucks and other emergency crews there. Also, Collier Boulevard is closed from Davis Boulevard all the way south to Rattlesnake Hammock Road. You cannot get in that area right now because of the smoke and the fire danger. And there are evacuations to several communities in that area along Collier Boulevard near the Alligator Alley toll booth. This is a live look at the evacuation center at the Golden Gate Community Center on Golden Gate Parkway. There are people who are here just waiting and waiting for information. They were evacuated from those RV parks in those communities, and they're just waiting to see if they might get the chance to go back tonight or if they are going to be kept out overnight. And we'll let you know as soon as we get that information as well, so people know what to do and where to go. Collier County also has an emergency hotline that is open. The number on your screen right now, 239-252-8444. And anyone in Collier County can also use 311. And you can call with any questions about this fire. And we also just got some new video of that call center, and you can see the people who are working there trying to keep everyone informed. We heard they got hundreds of calls tonight, which is not surprising at all, as people are just desperate for information. And now let's look at I-75 and look at some of the flames along the alley again. Again, we have this crew stationed here right at the toll booth where the alley is shut down, and we're seeing some flames, some hot spots like this along the alley. But the conditions have improved in other areas. We're going to keep you informed of everything that is going on with this fire. Don't change your channel. Stay right with us, because we're going to have live reports coming up for you in about 90 seconds coming up on Wink News at 6.